What's going on, guys? Jared here, Dex and Dice LLC, ramblings of an LGS owner. I haven't put out a video in like 2 weeks or whatever, mainly because, as you can probably tell through the voice, sinus issues. I had a sinus infection last week, and this week is pretty much the aftermath of it. And it tried to come back a couple of days ago, and yeah, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I just weather this and nothing bad happens. So if I sniffle again or just sound really horrible, worse than usual, I apologize, guys. It is what it is. So you've all probably heard about the changes with Magic, the foundations, where that's going to start the MSRP. The new rotation is going to start with the Edge of Destiny set or whatever, and all the other crap that I've missed because I've just been bleh. And as you can tell from the background, also moving stuff around in the shop, making room for inventory and so forth and so forth. I also um, I also got a CardBot from CardCastle, and I will give you a pretty unbiased review of my experience with that so far. So yeah, hang on to your butts for that one. So anyways, just to touch base with the MSRP, like MSRP for Wizards is great. They stopped doing it, I think, in like 2016, 17, somewhere around there. And they were like, just you guys decide what it's worth. Uh, for some products, apparently what we thought it was worth was way less than what Wizards thought it was worth. And with things such as collector boosters, like the actual like boxes, um, they were valued way under than what Wizards thought they were going to be. So like, I don't know. I haven't checked this yet because I'm me, but apparently like I think MSRP for collector boosters is going to be close to that like 300 mark, um, which is considering they're cutting down print runs and all that good stuff and throwing in these nice little chase cards is actually probably about par where it should be. I know that play boosters, I foresee play boosters going the same way that Yu-Gi-Oh does for their boxes, because if we all followed MSRP for Konami, your Yu-Gi-Oh boxes would be, I think, 110, 115 a piece, and no one charges that for Yu-Gi-Oh boxes. You 85, 89. If it's like a quarter century rare set or some BS, 95, maybe 100. Um, Unless, of course, let me backtrack, because I think quarter century cost us to get like around $100 a box. It was like 120, but you get my point. Um, so I don't think play boosters you're going to see those boxes go beyond that 140 mark. Give or take $10. That's probably where it's going to stay. I think the market has considered that to be a appropriate price point for play boosters, regardless of what Wizards sets for an MSRP, because again, the S in MSRP means suggested. It's not a hard limit to what it's supposed to be. It's a manufacturer suggested retail price. So it gives you, as a consumer, and us as a store, at least a starting point. Not just us being like, well, what the fuck is this going to cost us? And while I agree with having the MSRP, I like it. It does give you the starting point. It cuts down on most of the stupid little, well, if I go over to this LGS, I save $3. If I go over to this one, I save 5. Who the fuck cares? By the time you factor in your wasted time and your price, you might as well should have just went ahead and spent the extra $5 or $10 to get the box where you're at and save yourself the time, effort, gas, blah, blah, blah. But moving on. So yeah, I don't foresee the MSRP thing really being anything groundbreaking or earth-shattering. It's just going to give everyone a um, starting point for prices, a basis for prices, and then if something is over or under what the MSRP is. It's up to you to decide if you think it's worth it or not. Simple as that. The other thing I wanted to kind of touch on with the new news was crap. What was it, dude? You think I would write this stuff down most of the times, but I don't. I just go with the squirrel brain. Um, I really think the MSRP was the biggest one. I, as far as like what the sets look like, I'm not a big fan of um, the Fast and the Furious one. I can't remember after something after. Anyways, the one that's coming up in January, where everyone seems to be like Fast and Furious ripoffs of themselves. I'm really not a big fan of that. I know there's some of you that are, but that's not what I think Magic is. And also, I don't think the other one later on in the year, Into the Abyss or whatever the hell it's called, where it's like a space one where they're just traveling the galaxy. That is also not Magic to me, but to be fair, Magic has not really been Magic in quite a while. As far as like their themes, sets, I don't know what you want to call it, environments, whatever, settings, whatever you want to call it. Universes Beyond kind of ruined that as far as introducing new settings. So, like, it is what it is. I always consider Magic to be like a swords and sorcery thing, high fantasy. That's why Lord of the Rings works so well. A, because it's Lord of the Rings, and that's just a heavy-hitting IP, and B, it's swords and sorcery. Fits right in there like a glove. I wasn't a big fan of the Neon Dynasty just because I thought it was a little too futuristic, but it was a good set, but I didn't like the futuristic like neon punk shit. But again, that's just me, dude. Like I think a swords and sorcery thing should stay a swords and sorcery thing. I don't mind them introducing advanced tech with like, I don't know, golems or automatons or whatever. Once you start introducing legitimate like bikes and cars and crap like that, you've lost me. And then especially with that space one, when you start introducing intergalactic like travel and other planets and universes and so forth, I get that like planeswalking is kind of like that, but no. So anyways, that's just me because I'm an old boomer when it comes to Magic, and I also am retired from playing, so I guess my opinion on the matter really doesn't matter because, as all of you have noticed and have known for a minute, that this is just a business to me now, and I don't really look at stuff as far as this would go great in my XYZ deck because I don't really play anymore, so I don't have that kind of a connection to the sets any longer. It's literally everything I see is business wise, dollar signs. Hate me for that all you want to, but ask anyone who runs an LGS. 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you the same damn thing. Even if the shop owner is there playing a game of Magic with you, he's probably looking at it from way more of a business standpoint than he wants to admit or you would like to admit. But carrying on, so I think that's all I've got to really say about MSRP, the settings of Magic. Foundations, I'm a big fan of Foundations because it's a nice, as I've said in other videos, great jumping in point for new players. The set's not really aimed at people like me who have known Magic or been in Magic for years. I don't even think it's aimed towards people who have been, playing Magic for the last like 3 or 4 years. I legit think it's for the new player, the been there 1 or 2 years or whatever. So it's great to have kind of a core set once again, especially one designed like this that literally just has collections and boxes. You can be like, hey, you were just talking about how you want to start playing Magic. Here is an instant collection. Go. Like I said in another video, it's not like you have to hand someone a commander deck and just be like, figure it out. So, But anyways, big proponent of the set. everyone was throwing shade at it to begin with, but I think people are coming around to it. It's going to be good because it's going to be legal for like 5 or 6 years or whatever it is. So there's no use, unless you're trying to buy collector boxes, there's no use in like trying to like chase down all the product and buy as much of the standard product as you possibly can, because it's going to be in rotation for a minute, man. It's literally just meant to be an introductory set for LGSs to have a jumping in point for new players, which has sorely been lacking with the game as a whole. So yeah, super stoked about that. Now, sorry. Now let's move on to the CardBot. I thought I had the paper around here. Hold on a second. Really ill prepared for some of these videos, but you know, it's how we do it at the shop. We fly by the seat of our fucking pants. So, this is what I'm talking about. This nifty little thing right here. It's okay. I thought it was going to be a lot better than what it was. Like a lot of other people who got it, from talking with the dudes yesterday and a couple other times, like they understand where everyone's coming from. They actually appreciate the feedback. Because I'm not going to bullshit them. It's, if you're a well-established shop that can probably afford to pay someone to do nothing but scan stuff into your inventory and put it on there and blah blah blah, you're most likely better off not getting one of these things. But if you're a small shop like mine who has limited resources and just literally needs, I don't know, like a half of an employee or something to just pick up the slack in a certain area, then it's worth it. I'm not completely impressed with the accuracy that it reads things. It will read, like, let's say I have 6 cards from the same set, like Lightning Bolt. Let's say I have 3 Baldur's Gate, 6 Baldur's Gate Lightning Bolts. And I put in my parameters that I want, like let's say 25 cents and above are what it's supposed to accept, and put in the accept pile. It will accept maybe 3 of them, and then it will reject the other 3. And it does that with all sorts of other cards too, like Soul Rings, Arcane Signets, you know, Impact Tremors was one that it was doing with me. Like, it's, the accuracy is not there as far as what I was expecting and hoping, but it does help just to be the extra person to scan shit in and just be someone that you can just, or something, sorry, to just throw shit at and have it do something, you know. And it's kind of like having that old 1980s dishwasher in your house where, yeah, it might not get the dishes done the first time, but it frees you up to go do something else that you need to get done. And then you can always just run the dishwasher twice, which is what you end up doing with the CardBot, is you run your reject pile another time, and then sometimes it gets the stuff right and sometimes it doesn't, and then you end up just having to manually scan the crap anyways. So, you know, it's like I told him in an email, like, D's get degrees, so it's not like this is a horrible thing to have. It's just I wish it was a lot more accurate. I wish it was a lot more like, well, I guess it's accurate, to be honest with you. That's my biggest gripe. They're currently having an issue with the Mystery Set Booster 2 that came out, because I'm guessing from what happened there is their software or whatever, whoever updates the software or whatnot, every card that was in the Mystery Set Booster, aside from like the legitimate ones with the little question mark on the set symbol, everything in those boxes is like a list card. You know, it's got a little symbol at the corner. So I guess when that updated, every card that matched that thing, it automatically scans as being from like the list. So whenever you get your accepted pile from the CardBot, you have to go in and manually look over everything and check every card that it scanned as the list. Click on it and make sure that the picture is correct and that it actually is from the list, or you have to change it to what it really is. So that's also kind of a pain in the ass. Again, it sounds like I'm like dunking on it, but I'm really not 100% dunking on it. It helps. It's improved the output. It really has, just because it's like having another person here that, runs me $350 a month, but it's better than the $1,600 that a Roku would run me, because I'm not at that point yet to where I can afford that. But the CardBot will do its best. Man, it's better than nothing. It's getting stuff done. I have gripes about it. Apparently, a lot of people who use this have the same gripes. Sorry, it's super dusty. Have the same gripes about it, and they're working on it, as best as they can, because every interaction I've had with the dudes from CardCastle has been positive. They're great people. I am by no means throwing them under the bus or anything like that. They're good people. Their product is just a little subpar as to what I was expecting and what most other people were expecting. I was expecting at the low end, like a 90% accuracy mark, up to like a 95%, just scan it, be done with it, and go on with your life. Like, just feed it 1,000 cards. Everything in this pile over here is within your parameters, like no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and go. But that's not the case. You spend the however long it takes to scan, however many cards you put in there. Currently, because I have to go through and look through every one of them, I do like maybe 600 or 700 cards at a time at the most, just because it's going to take me the time to go back through the list and have to look at everything and manually adjust crap. So like that eats up time too. But again, it's still better, at least at our current level, than having to do all that shit by hand. Saves my brain like some burnout from doing that, which is probably the most important part. And it frees me up to do other stuff. Either that be like manually scan the pile that didn't get scanned, within the last run of the machine, or customer service, talking to a rep, answering emails, talking to people on Discord, etc., etc. It gives me that extra little bit of like free time to just not be buried in cardboard, just for lack of a better term. So, but I got interested in it because of Chase from TCG Bulk Kings. Saw that he got one. However, admittedly, and Chase, I love you. You're a good dude. You're probably enjoying it more than I did, because they just kind of like gave it to you because your channel is bigger and you influence people and everything. I actually had to put the $2,000 down on it and, see what happens. So here we are. But it's, like I said, it's better than nothing. I give it like a D, maybe a C currently. Once they supposedly get this little patch up and going for the Magic cards, maybe by the end of the week, end of next week. We'll see. It's supposed to clear up a lot of other stuff as far as card recognition goes. Their Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon stuff is in like a beta right now. We don't do Pokemon singles at the shop, so that doesn't really affect us, but the Yu-Gi-Oh! Part does. It does not scan Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards the way that it should at all. It rejects them all, no matter what it is. So like, you can either have someone who knows what the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff is, have them go through the pile, pick out the crap, manually scan that stuff, and just be done with it. Or you can just load up your Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, have it scan everything in there, upload your CSV, and then go through everything and manually like adjust pricing or whatever, or before you throw in your CSV, you can go through the scan itself and just take out all the cards that don't meet your criteria. But because it doesn't recognize sets currently, and or like rarity really, I would only suggest doing this when you have separated them from like commons, rares, super rares, QCRs, and what other 9 other rarities that Yu-Gi-Oh has, and scanning them individually, so at least that way when you're looking through the sets and all that, you know which one that you just scanned. Like, it just makes it easier to separate them and know for a fact that every card in this particular thing that you scanned is like a super rare. But yeah, so they're working on that. We talked about that yesterday. They wanted me to scan some more Yu-Gi-Oh cards in just so like their stuff could I guess the neural network could learn more about it or whatever, so I did. But yeah, so I guess ending on that note, the sorry. The overall grade I give the CardCastle CardBot is probably, like I said, a D, maybe a C. It's better than nothing. And I mean that in like the best way possible. It's better than nothing. It'll do stuff. It'll get things going. It'll save you some time, kind of, by freeing you up currently to go do something else that you could just start or finish, and then go back to hopefully a finished product, but at the very least having to go through and readjust things and then have a finished product. So, it is what it is. I guess I'm just going to grin and bear it and kind of go through it, mainly because there's a contract involved and all. So, like, what can you really do? But hopefully as time goes on, it'll be a whole lot more accurate with the, recognize, whatever that words. So it'll be way easier for me to just feed it 1,000 magic cards, because that's what's going to be the focus, is going to be magic cards for right now. Feed it 1,000 magic cards, be 98% sure that what it accepts is what it is, and then just throw it on the TCG player. And if there are any discrepancies, deal with it when it happens, and then move on with life. So, yeah. That's all I got about the little card bot. The thing I was thinking about earlier that I forgot was Pokemon. Disclosure, I don't give a shit about Pokemon. Never given a shit about Pokemon. Don't carry singles at the shop. We just do sealed. So my advice on the Pokemon thing, take it with a grain of salt, but it's literally me looking at it from outside with not a horse in the race at all. The current market is complete and total bullshit. Don't fall for it. Everything is fucking overpriced. You're going to have that jerk-off money that goes in there to try to flip boxes for $9,000 a piece or pull the one card that's worth $9,000. Currently, it's a bunch of bullshit, and just don't fall for it. Either completely skip this shit that's currently going out, the Shimmering Skies or whatever the fuck it's called, like that's how much I care about Pokemon, or just grin and bear it and buy your fucking boxes at, like, I don't know, if you can find them for $140, $160 or whatever it might be at some LGS. You might want to completely bypass TCG Player. But yeah, my opinion, again, I don't give a shit about Pokemon. I'm just looking at it from the outside. It looks like it's total bullshit. I wouldn't even fall for it this go round. It's like the whole Logan Paul hype up bullshit again during COVID. Don't waste your fucking money in this Pokemon hysteria that's going on. Just don't. Like, leave it be, man. Pokemon's not even that fucking profitable from, like, my end of the spectrum. In order to even get booster boxes, we have to eat the bullshit products that they throw out, like the little structure decks, the little toolboxes, the big little, like, plastic things that... all the crappy little shovelware bullshit that they pull out, we have to eat if we want to even, like, get more than 2 or 3 fucking booster boxes on release, and I'm just not doing that. That's why I only get, like, 2 or 3 booster boxes, maybe 6, because I don't buy the auxiliary or whatever the hell it is, that the supplemental bullshit, I don't buy it. Just because I don't care. Pokemon's not that great as far as like return on investment goes. Like every other fucking game, you make $20 a booster box, typically, maybe 30 depending on what the set is, but for something that runs me $95 to $100 to buy, and hopefully I can sell it for that 120, 130 mark. You know? So anywho, that's what I wanted to say about the thing that I forgot prior to in the Foundations remark. But anyways, I do believe I'm done, guys. Throat's getting a little scratchy and stuff from talking so much. And as always, like, just do me a favor, sub to the channel, share it around, like it, all that good stuff. Help us grow this thing. Ad revenue would be spectacular. It would just be great to have something else just like feeding the beast that is the shop, that's not only taking all of my money but my soul. So, you know, help. Follow us on all the other like social media shit we have. It's all going to be in the comments section. Highly consider joining our Patreon. If you're local, get your 10% discount, man. It pays for itself. If you're not local, I will ship shit out to you. So just, you know, consider joining the Patreon. And on that note, I guess, as always, everyone, life is not a dick. You don't have to take it so hard. I'll talk to you later, and hopefully I won't be so, like, stopped up and congested. But you guys be safe out there.